Just ahead on Mountain News this morning, we talked with the family of a woman who spent nearly 1 month in the hospital after testing positive for COVID-19. And while many runs and races are canceled due to the coronavirus, event organizers in Perry County found a way to safely host one this past weekend.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. My name is Lacey Roberts, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News This Morning on this beautiful Monday morning. I heard Brandon's talking about some fog that was out there earlier this morning. Let's bring him in to keep talking about that, and hopefully that'll move away as that morning goes along. Brandon?
That's right, Lacey. We're going to continue to see that dense fog advisory in place until 10 o'clock this morning there for much of the area, so be extra careful. A lot of essential workers out this morning to just take care as you travel. Let's take a look at that. All the counties you see there shaded in the gray, basically from Hazard west out toward Lake Cumberland and I-75. That's where you're going to see that. A couple of our East Tennessee counties also included in that dense fog, especially along that I-75 corridor. Zero visibility or very close to it there. London, Somerset, Williamsburg, Jacksboro. And then it's creeping over into parts of the Kentucky River in the Cumberland Valley as well this morning. So we'll keep you posted on that. Temperatures running in the 30s and low 40s. I do believe those will get into the upper 30s by the time we get to this later this morning, right around 7 o'clock. So we're going to call for 37 with that dense fog at basically 7 to 9 there, the fog anyway. And then after that, there's sunshine behind that fog. The skies have cleared out overnight after we had some early rain, and temperatures will climb into the mid to upper 60s later on today. We'll have the rest of the forecast here in just a little bit. Lacey?
Thank you, Brandon. A woman named Sheila Thornsberry spent nearly 23 days in the hospital after testing positive for COVID-19. 18 of those days were spent on a ventilator. Sheila says a physician's assistant first thought it was a sinus infection, but quickly realized it was much worse. She walked out of Baptist Health in Lexington on Friday to a crowd of applause and cheers. Her sister-in-law, Karen Sandlin, says while Sheila is out of the hospital, full recovery may take a while.
She has a long road ahead of her. I think that it'll be almost 3 months before they expect her to make a full recovery just from being on the vent and her muscles, deteriorating from not moving.
Sandlin says that she's very excited to be home and to see her kids and husband after this long health battle. And as of yesterday, all Kroger employees are required to wear face masks. Previously, only certain departments were required to wear the masks, but now they are mandatory for all employees and have been provided by the company. Kroger has taken other measures to ensure safety during the COVID-19 outbreak, including limiting the number of customers in its stores and adding plexiglass shields at checkout lanes. Other major retailers, including Walmart, Meijer, and Target, have implemented similar policies such as that. Papa John's founder, John Schnatter, is donating $1 million to help small businesses in America. The founder, John H. Schnatter Family Foundation, is distributing funds to nonprofit groups focusing on economic recovery and donating to some small business owners directly. When asked if he has any advice for business owners struggling through these uncertain times, this is what he had to say to them.
So you got to plan every day. You got to have goals every day. Mark Cuban said something this week. He said, this is the best time in our history to start a business. And I was like, whoa, I didn't think of it that way. And then he kind of clarified that be thinking about where you want to locate your business plan, start getting ready, because to his point, and I do agree with it, there's going to be unbelievable amount of opportunities come out of this once the dust settles and we get back on our feet.
Schnatter is launching a new webpage that offers merchandise like face masks and T-shirts in exchange for contributions to his charity. The net proceeds from this sales will be matched by Schnatter and given to charities focused on small businesses. And as many churches are finding unique ways to hold services during the coronavirus pandemic, Milestone Missionary Baptist Church in Letcher County found a way to help cheer up their pastor as he preaches his sermons virtually. WYMT's Dakota Makers explains what this idea is.
All around, there is an empty church.
I've never known of our church doors to be closed.
And now these notes are filling the space. And for Pastor Bill Kraft, it is challenging.
but particularly difficult for Papa. And on any given Sunday, he can look out over the congregation and he can tell you who's here and who's not.
To help cheer him up, his granddaughter and church members got to work.
For Easter service, we'd like to fill the pews with your love letters to Papa, to the Lord, to our church. And it was beautiful.
And seeing those notes of encouragement and support.
That thrills me to think about it. We miss our people. That's just like a family. It's just a family.
They walk side by side, reading the notes, imagining the memories of those who once filled the pews, hoping soon they can have service in person again. In Letcher County, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
The family spent a couple of days getting the notes in from church members, and 5 family members helped to hang the signs on the pews. While many runs and races are canceled due to the coronavirus, the Pathfinders of Perry County held the Coe Run-a-thon this past weekend. 7 runners took to the trails at Coalfields Industrial Park to complete their races while social distancing. Runners ran half marathons at 50 and 50 miles, but Michael Montgomery's goal was bigger, 24 hours and 100 miles. Montgomery started at 5 p.m. Friday. Unfortunately, he did not make 100 miles. He had to stop at the 61-mile mark Saturday morning due to his hip. And throughout quarantine, we've brought you drive-by birthday parties, funerals, and even baby showers. But what about a drive-in ring ceremony? On Sunday, the Pikeville Panthers got their state tournament rings in a drive-in ceremony. Each player came in 5 minutes apart and, of course, stayed 6 feet apart. All players got their ring, took pictures, and drove away. Senior wide receiver Jackson Hensley says this means a lot when so much of his senior year was taken away.
I mean, obviously it's a great feeling, but it won't compare to the feeling of winning the game. And but it's good to finally get this after being at home. It's unfortunate that we have to miss graduation and prom and that kind of stuff, baseball season. But winning this really, I mean, I feel closure with my senior year, so I don't feel like I missed out on anything.
Although the players did not get a normal ring ceremony, being together for this moment made up for the cancellation. And after 6 years as the head coach of Wake Forest, Danny Manning was fired on Saturday. And just days later, we are already seeing some changes to the roster. Martin County's Trey James committed to Wake Forest back in January, but announced on Twitter Sunday that he would be decommitting from the school, saying, quote, "After much thought and discussion with my family, I have decided to decommit from Wake Forest University and reopen my recruitment. I want to thank Coach Manning, Coach Walters, and Coach Childress for the opportunity, and I wish the best to Wake Forest," end quote. The 6'10 center averaged 14.6 points per game and 11.1 rebounds per game during his junior season. And many people are adopting dogs and cats during this time, and it might be the perfect time to do so. While many people are working from home and can give new pets the type of love and care and attention that they need. Megan James talked to the Lexington Humane Society yesterday about the increase in adoptions and has details.
During this time that we are healthy at home, it's the perfect opportunity to adopt a furry friend into your forever family.
We have so much going on out in the world, and when we are at home with our pets like we're supposed to be right now, it allows us to get to know them. It allows them to get to know us, our personality, our routines, everything that they will learn to love in the future.
Eventually, things will change as we return to normal. But the Lexington Humane Society hopes that you make the choice to keep your new family member around.
Always want this perfect match to be a forever match for your family. And we aren't anticipating a whole lot of returns. We have lots of different resources for pet owners,
like their pet food pantry. And soon, they will also have lots of kittens.
We are starting to see kittens come in, so everyone always loves to see little small babies come in. So we're relying on our foster parents even more right now. We have over half of our adoptable animals in foster homes right now, and those guys are helping us find homes for all of the foster animals.
If you're interested in adopting or fostering, the Lexington Humane Society has several dogs, cats, and other small animals on their website for you to browse. In Lexington,
Megan James, WKYT.
And the Lexington Humane Society is currently doing adoptions by appointment only. And as those adoption rates go up, so do scams aimed at taking advantage of people seeking a new pet during this time. The Better Business Bureau is urging people what they are calling a COVID-19 puppy scam. They say that they see these scams happening across the country. So how does it work? Potential pet owners buying online are told that they have to pay extra for a crate or insurance to have the pet shipped because of increased risks due to COVID-19. Paula Fleming with the Better Business Bureau says to not buy a pet without seeing it, and if that is not possible, do thorough research.
Make sure that you do your due diligence, checking out the testimonials, the seller information, the website, if they're AKC registered.
Fleming also says not to wire any money and suggests going through a local shelter instead. And just ahead on Mountain News this morning, we'll show you how some big names in Hollywood are helping COVID-19 relief efforts after recovering from it themselves.